Good evening. My name is Matthew Benoit. I'm the Community Development Director for the town of Douglas. I've been working here since about October of 2021. For those of you who do not recognize me, I'm still considered one of the newer people here. All right. One of these, when this project kind of first came about, I think all of us know it's no secret that South Street has a stretch that's in pretty rough shape.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. To say the least, and I'm being kind of generous when I say that. So what the Highway Department has been looking at the street for a while to do some reconstruction and do repaving and all that. But some things came to our attention about drainage, and we're aware of a lot of complicated issues with the road, including the culverts that are under, some of the swales. So we commissioned an engineer, Stantec, to take a look at it. That had to go to town meeting for a vote. It went last fall for a cost that was voted by the town meeting members to get this study done. And now we have a preliminary plan. It's not finished. And that's part of the reason we have you here today, is because we want to collect your feedback, because there might be some things that we don't see. All we did the survey on was within the right-of-way of the road. Now, a road itself, it's not just the edges of the roadway. There's still some right-of-way on each side, and they include some front lawns, there's some walkways and things like that. It's how it is with all roads in town. So just the right-of-way was looked at. We didn't survey any private property, but I'm sure you saw the folks out there with the vests on at some point in the last couple of months to kind of take a look at it. So this is just strictly informative. We're not trying to sneak anything by anyone. We really want your feedback about some of the challenging things on your own property that we might not know about. So that's why we're here. That being said, I'd like to introduce you to Dave Glenn, who is the engineer for Stantec. He's going to walk us through kind of the preliminary findings of the project. And after that, I'll turn it back over to the Highway Department. John and Adam Furno here to talk about kind of the schedule, when they'll be looking to do paving, or to start the work, beginning and construction, stuff like that. So, and then we'll open up for Q&A. And so if you have questions, put them notes in your phone and hold on to them until the end as best you can. If you need paper, I'm happy to pass that out too. So without further ado, Dave, would you like to get started?
No problem, sure.
You're a little quieter than me, so you might need this.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Maybe I'll start screaming.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for coming. Dave Glenn from Stantec. We've been working with the town on this project. Can everybody hear me?
Yep. It's just a matter of if Sarah can hear you, and the folks at home. You a little quiet?
You may want the microphone.
There you go.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Or the ones on the table.
It's already on, yep.
As I'm said, my name is Dave Glenn from Stantec. We've been working with the town on this project for about a year now. We have provided a preliminary plan, which is shown on the screen. This plan addresses proposed drainage improvements, the proposed project, project limits, pretty much constant circle.
Sure. Am I there yet? Can you tell me where to go?
Yeah, that one.
This one.
So this is a key sheet of the whole project corridor. It's basically starting from Thomas Circle, which is a private way, going all the way down South Street, and then it's ending pretty much at Hemlock. The next sheet, I think. Nope. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can cut it off. But Hemlock is right in this location here. What we did is we did a partial survey, a detailed survey on about 800 feet of the roadway section, and then we have a parking line survey on the remaining portion. So, and the way this is set up is we gave you the whole key sheet, and then we zeroed in or zoomed in on each individual culvert location along South Street. On South Street itself, there's approximately 10 cross culverts that we'll be replacing that go underneath the road. The culverts that are there now, some of them are corrugated, some may be concrete, but they're not in that best of condition. So the goal of this project was for drainage improvements to replace all 10 culverts with new culverts. We're going to keep the same size of the pipe that's currently there now. It's a 12-inch, 15-inch, 18-inch. Size is staying the same. We're putting in an HDPE or plastic pipe, which is more durable than what's out there now. It's a corrugated pipe. So there's 10 locations, and these plans, we actually zoom in on each culvert location, give a detail of the culvert, size of the culvert, and what's being replaced. So that's one part of the drainage improvements, is replacing all the 10 culverts. Obviously, when you replace the culverts, you got to do the head walls or the outlets. So all the outlets will have a precast concrete head wall. Right now, I think there's some stone out there, it's a little bit of a mix of everything in the head walls. It's all gonna be a precast concrete head wall with all the colored outlets. The inlets, basically, it's gonna be what's there now, except we're putting in new structures. There's a catch basin there, there'll be a new catch basin structure, precast structure. If there's a drop inlet structure there with a throat, there'll be another catch basin with a throat. So basically, we're taking out the old structure that's there now, putting in a completely new structure. So that's being done at all 10 color locations. So it's a combination of a new head wall, or actually a drop inlet or catch basin structure. And the road will be paved, temporary paving where the culvert is done, and maybe back and talk later about the second phase of the project. Other improvements, obviously everybody knows there's a swale out there. We're looking to regrade probably 60% of the swale. It's either going to be completely regraded, reshaped, reloamed, reseeded, and then probably about 30% of the swale is going to be actually regraded. We're going to put in crushed stone, 2 to 3 feet of crushed stone, and a riprap bottom to help control infiltration, get a little more infiltration, control the flow. And then we're actually going to put in stone check dams within the swale that will actually slow down the flow of water. So we're trying to control the water a little bit more within the swale area, which is on the east side of the road. Yeah, east side of the road.
Yep.
So we're not looking to change drainage patterns. So if the flow was going to a certain location now, in general, we're keeping that. But we're trying to control the flow a little bit more by regrading all the swales, getting some infiltration in there, cleaning up the swales, and it's actually, the road will be paved as a second phase, so you get a crown back in the road, which is, you really don't have a crown out there now. So I think all these improvements will help control the flow of water within the roadway system itself. We're also replacing a number of culverts at individual driveways. If you have a culvert under your driveway, that's going to be replaced too. Again, with the same HDPE pipe. That will have the plastic flared ends as opposed to a concrete head wall. Those are being replaced also for driveways. Overall, I think it will be an improvement over what you have now. I think between the roadway repaving, the drainage improvements, cleaning up the swales, putting in the new culverts, new structures, I think you're really going to get a more controlling the stormwater flow in that area. It'll be an improvement over what's there now. That's really an overview of it. Again, these are preliminary plans. We haven't gone final yet, so obviously I'd like to get feedback from obviously you folks who live there. You know it better than I do. So I think that's really a
Awesome.
quick overview.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. So we're going to hear more from Dave when you have your individual questions about your properties, and he'll talk about some of the more specific designs in front of your homes. Right now, I'd just like to go to the highway department and whether it's John or Adam to talk about the road reconstruction.
Yep. Good evening, folks. I'm John Furno, Highway Superintendent. Adam Furno, my foreman. As we all know how bad shape that road's been in for a long time, this has been a long time coming. No crown in the road, like they said. A crown is the pitch of the road. Right now, the water just runs down South Street like in a channel and ends up in, kind of in one area of town. So after Dave is done with his final drawings, you folks speak tonight, and then we get an official approved plan. Our goal at the highway department is to put out to bid the reclaiming and paving of the road. Reclaiming is when the road is ground up, like if you have a garden rototiller, it churns up the old asphalt. All of it goes back in the ground. It's graded, it's compacted, there's density tests done, so it's compacted right before we pave. Then we put a binder down of 2.5 inches of asphalt, and then we put a top coat on. Then after that is done, we address every driveway apron individually all the way down through the project. Once they're done, again, with the drainage, which should be, we're hoping to wrap that up shortly. You'll see us out there doing some test holes on South Street with Stantec, a different division of Stantec engineering firm. So we know what's in the ground, if we need to add gravel or what we have to do. Then we put the project out to bid. Right now, the goal is mid-July. We're looking to try to get one contractor to do the paving and the drainage. I think we'll get a better price that way. Then, once the bid is awarded to whoever the contractor may be, the goal is to start about mid-August and be done around Halloween, the end of October, with the drainage and the paving, and then the driveway aprons will be addressed after that. We'll have the contractor, whoever gets the bid, to work with the police department. There's going to be a traffic mess there for a while, a few months, but that's the price we pay no matter what we do. As you all know, going out of town here, every day you pay that price. So that's kind of that in a nutshell, and I'll turn it back over to Matt.
Thanks, John. So, yeah, back to the reason you guys are all here. Everyone signed in, right? Did you sign in?
I did.
Okay, there's a little sign-in sheet right over there if you don't mind. So, happy to take any questions. We can look at your property specifically. I'll pull it up on the Google Maps and the Town GIS, and we can look at the section in front of your house that you're interested in seeing what's being done. So, anyone have any questions, or anyone like to go first?
Yeah, where exactly is that?
Nice and loud, perfect.
Where exactly is that Thomas Circle? I've been there
Good
50
question.
years, and I never saw a sign or nothing that
You're
said
right,
that.
you're right. It's a good question. It doesn't have
my
a
house, that's where it starts.
It's that private
Where do you
property.
live?
195,
195?
I'll show you.
next to that.
Right after 179, I think.
Cape,
It's this.
Okay.
It's that
Okay.
subdivision
where they stop paving.
that has the road
Okay.
across.
All right.
Yeah, that's on private property that they never finished.
And you're only going to go as far as Hemlock?
Yes.
I don't understand why you don't go right down the Rhode Island line. It's a mess.
There's no
Whole
money.
thing.
Money.
Money.
Yeah. We had to
Plus,
find a project limit
plus
somewhere.
across from, just before you get to Billy Porter's down there, when you get a hard rain down there, there's a puddle in there that'll suck up the whole car.
I think, and it's a good point, I think you guys even mentioned that
That's another.
there is
yeah,
something
It's
else.
another phase.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we get X amount of dollars through Chapter 90 a year.
And
right?
I'll tell you, this project, we're looking, preliminary numbers is over $1 million,
Yeah, well,
you know.
That's all the money we have, so.
Yeah, so, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is the one road you're looking at doing this year.
Correct.
It's the only one. So it's not like you're taking them off of another job. They're going to have, you're going to have their direct and undivided attention.
Yeah.
And
So,
are you having the same ones that paved it a few years back up there by Downs's?
it's going to go out to bid,
It goes out to bid, so we're not sure who will get this.
I'm sure. Yes?
So I sent you numerous pictures of the flooding that takes place in the front. You said you forwarded it to this gentleman.
Of course.
I don't know if he can specifically remember the huge pictures of the flooding. It's
been out there.
A big, huge pond.
Yeah.
Is that do you think, in your opinion, that what you guys are doing is going to change that?
I think it's definitely going to be an improvement. What's your house number?
It's 204,
210.
210, sorry.
Okay.
210. So this is where the big pond is on the private property,
Okay.
or the drainage.
I mean, we'll look into, again, the swale is going to be regraded, reshaped. We're putting in crushed stone base on one section of the swale with riprap, reshaping the whole swale, putting in check dams. So the goal is to control the flow of water so it doesn't get there as quick, and to get some infiltration credit. So again, it's not completely going onto your property. I mean, we're still utilizing the pipe that's there. We're also replacing the pipe that's there now, putting in a new pipe, a new head wall. But you're still going to receive flow there. The goal is to improve the flow, control it, and sort of, not get that rush of water that you probably get now. If we can control it, make it go slower, get some infiltration, hopefully that will make an improvement. And I think it's definitely going to be an improvement.
Improvement meaning, what are we talking, like, how many?
We're talking
I mean, this thing fills up like a pond. It's about over 12 feet deep, and it's about, I don't even know how wide it is, or, I I mean, I'm guessing, I'm gonna throw out 200,000 gallons, that's just a guess, and when it overflows, it goes, I mean, is this gonna, what do you think? Is it gonna be, what are we looking at?
Dave, is it safe to say that right now, a lot of the catch basins, excuse me, a lot of the culverts that are going underneath, they're not functioning properly, right? So the stuff that's up gradient isn't capturing the water, and a lot of the water is coming right down south because it's not crowned.
You may be getting
It's coming to the low
well,
point.
right, without,
Yeah.
without some of the other infrastructure intercepting that water. I mean, the ideal is, once we get the new culverts in, the cross culverts in, the road is paved, it's crowned. I mean, right now, out there now, there's really no crown, and the road's actually built up on either side. So I think a lot of that water never gets to the swells of the inlet anyway.
Yeah.
It just stays on the road. So by building the road up, crowning it, and then regrading the swales, getting some infiltration with some stone in these swales, I mean, I can't tell you you're not gonna get any water there, but to me, it's gonna be an improvement from what you already have.
So the idea is to share the water elsewhere.
Well, control
essentially.
it, slow it down a
Right.
little bit, but, you know, the water's still, the water has to go somewhere.
Right, but as of right now, it seems that you're getting all of it, because it has nowhere else to go.
Oh, no, she's not getting one.
Yeah, so, and with, or
We're
a
not-
majority of it.
We're a good sharer.
Okay,
It just spreads out.
sure. Which property is yours?
204.
204.
So our property, it has a trench down and and the water comes in, fills up in the woods and goes up into the man-made, the pond, up behind.
Here, McNeil.
Yeah,
Okay, Hall.
McNeil, yes,
Now, you have one right above you
right.
that may or may not be functioning.
Yeah.
Oh, it's functioning.
Yeah.
It's
It functions. That's the thing, and we're gonna clean these out, and they're gonna function better. I can't see how they're gonna. I don't see, are there people up the road who are not getting any water, and we're getting all the water? Or are they getting water up the road as well? It just seems that we clean out the pipes, it sounds like more water, not less.
Well, I think now, I mean, once you reestablish that crown in the road, because you go down there now, the sides are well built up from sand, so, I mean, from what I can see. So some of that water's not even getting into the swales that are off the side of the road. So once you get the crown established, at least you're gonna be able to get the water off the road into the swales, and then the swales, we're gonna regrade the swales, we're gonna get some crushed stone in the water of the swales to try to get some infiltration, and we're putting in some check dams, again, to slow down the flow of water.
Can you define the word swale and where they're located?
Well, the drainage swale, drainage
Across
channel.
the street where they've got the
Right here.
little
That
the
trench.
trench that the Amazon guy gets stuck in all the time.
On the other
On the
side.
other side.
On the other side of the
They
street.
clean it out every once in a while.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely, you know, a need for maintenance on the swales that are there now. And this project is going to basically maintain these swales, regrade them, rebuild them up so that they're functioning a little more better than what they currently are now.
Is this water drainage going to be MS4 compliant?
This isn't an EMS4.
Yeah.
Why isn't it?
So,
It's not, the state defines our MS4, and that's not in it. Our MS4 area is all down here, downtown. So it's all by
Downtown.
population. It's all by population and stuff, and how many, people. But we, out there, it actually stops somewhere up before Old Farm Road on South Street. That's as far as it goes.
I just have one more question. So we have, from the culvert, we have a trench, as you know, that our neighbor dug, blocking us from a large portion of our property on the other side of the trench. Are we required to keep that trench there? Because that thing it's a hazard.
fully knowing that you guys are going through litigation right now, I don't think we can comment on that. And that's private property, right?
No, it's my property.
Right. So, I don't know how we can answer that.
Okay, well, because we've mentioned it in the past, and
Yeah.
you've said,
Yeah, but our work is contained just within the right of way. The trench that I don't think we can comment on that, because we didn't do it.
so what are we supposed to do with all this water that we're getting from the culvert?
Well, right, the way it seems is you're getting probably a lion's share of it already. And if it's spread evenly throughout the rest of the project with the proper drainage swales within the right of way so it can infiltrate into the ground, you
shouldn't be getting the volume that you're getting today.
So if you were to number the road, like where it starts, like I know that Morrison Road, that, and how far up the road are we talking with it, where these 10 culverts are? What, like, street number, if that's, if that?
My house crossing 195, right?
Yeah, that's about
Oh,
right.
that's it? That's not really a lot.
188 is one of them. I'll go a little closer. Let me go to the first sheet. Thomas Circle.
Beautiful water, David.
195 is here,
I was up the road.
188 across the street.
Two houses.
So it starts at this Thomas Circle, at 195.
195, okay.
Yeah.
That's that
So it's
white
not really
house
far.
that they just redid.
That's Kenny.
But even just this one alone, Dave, I mean, there's a lot going into just this area. You have a lot of different parts that are being adjusted, right?
Right, and from that location, I mean, that,
That one alone.
So in my case, my driveway, everything from my yard comes down my dirt driveway and out this channel,
Which property is yours?
195.
Okay, thank you.
And that all ends up, you know, it either washes the driveway out into the road or into the drainage ditch. So I have a stone wall on the left. I think I talked to somebody from the highway department about removing the wall. What can I do on my property, you know, to either help alleviate water? I already dug a huge dry well on my property to capture some of it further up. So that seems to be working pretty good, but I wanted to take that wall out just so it just didn't block the water and have it,
Where is the wall? If you don't mind.
so if you're facing the house, it'll be on the right side.
Right side of the driveway?
Yeah.
Okay. In between the driveway and Thomas Circle?
Yeah.
I hate to ask, but are you also getting any sort of water from Thomas Circle?
Yeah, it comes,
Yeah. Like even from the
around
drainage
the
basin
corner.
that's kind of above you that no one maintains? 'Cause
I don't really see it, and I'm sure it's just heading down the road. Yeah, it comes right around the corner. It's flooded a couple times.
So the situation might be slightly compounded, right? Because you got this development not having stormwater management being maintained because it's private.
Right.
Exactly, so that, and that, I think, just adds to all our problems.
I will add.
So I wanted to pave this year, actually, so, which would probably help, but I don't want to spend the money and just have water just take out the driveway.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if that wall could come out, and I could put a dry well there, and maybe just grade it so it, you know, comes over into the gully, or...
Dave, is this the one that we're changing to a catch basin that's just a pipe right now?
I think that's where you guys would be starting.
This is what I'm trying to figure out. I believe this was the one we're going to add this catch basin. So Thomas Circle, and one of the things we just did recently, and this may help a little bit too, we went up there and we opened up the 2 catch basins at the end, and we ripped out, they had the silt socks in there,
Yep.
and they were completely full, because the developer, like I said, left them in there.
Yep.
So all the dirt was running down and just filled them right up. So we removed them to help the water get in there. And of course, if it had a top coat of asphalt on that development, that would help the best. But
Right.
we removed them, which now water, and we took the edge of all the dirt that was left there, and we kind of scraped it all away to get the water in there. So to help alleviate some of that also. But, because it was coming around, we know it was coming off there. We've talked to the neighbors there, and it was coming right around that corner going down the road. So we were trying to catch it there also.
That was just a couple months ago.
Yeah, not even, yeah. Yeah, we just opened those up, so.
Will the first 10 feet get a top coat, like a driveway apron to assist for that catching?
We could.
Yeah.
It's an option.
yes,
Yeah,
You know,
good option.
yeah.
And then, did you guys do any soil samples to see what the retention is underneath?
That's what we're doing before we,
right before we pave, it'll be out there.
It's not just gonna sit in the shelf or riprap and shed?
No.
I talk about 213.
Yes.
I got a culvert, I got the swale in front of my house, and it's right on the edge of the driveway, which people have been falling in. I had to move the mailboxes because it got really dangerous over there. So I'd like to have that filled in, but I will forgive on the other side of my property, which goes up to the next driveway, if you need to make a swale in there, because I know a lot of the water comes off the hill out of the woods
I know exactly.
and collects down there. But I need to move it over, give me a little more room off the driveway so we don't fall in, because you don't see it. And then on the other side of the telephone pole, if we can put a pipe underneath there and carry it across.
Dave, I think that's where we
met out.
That's where we met up.
you and Adam had met out there.
I mean, right now, we're proposing to put a new culvert under your driveway and basically regrade that whole swale. That's gonna be a rip-rap swale.
Yeah, but that's not what I want. I want to eliminate that. I'll give you all the way on the other side. You can take it from the other side of my driveway up to the next driveway. I own that whole frontage of woods there.
Oh, yeah?
That would give you a lot more room to soak up the water and help the people downstream.
Oh, is that straight across from my driveway then?
Yes.
Yes.
I was just gonna ask, who
I own
owns
them woods.
that?
Oh.
Can we put water there?
Let them put the culvert in there where there's nobody.
Yeah.
Oh, so the culvert goes
No,
right
swale,
across the
whatever.
street.
That's,
Driveway.
yeah, that, you
That's, yeah.
I mean, the only concern we had there was because, again, the roadway as it is now, there's no curb, so when the road gets regraded, it's gonna drain off into the swale. So, because there's no closed system out there, so.
Yeah, but I have added water that comes off the hill through the woods. There's a spring up there that adds to the water.
oh,
That also adds to everybody else's problem.
Well, that whole side is very wet, for sure.
So
Coming out of the
that could be dug down and re-gravelled so it drains better. That would help
Well,
a lot
that's
of
the
people.
intent of that swale in there, it's gonna be crushed stone, 2 to 3 feet of crushed stone, rip wrap on top, and then you're still gonna have the swale, will probably be higher to get the runoff from the roadway itself.
But there's no swale there now.
There's no swell,
That's
that's a
my
different
point.
place.
Oh, a different location now about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts at my
Right next to
driveway.
the trail park.
And then there's a swale in front of my, right directly in front of my house.
Yeah.
Then there's a dirt road and a catch basin,
Right, which is that Morrison Road, right?
which is on the other side of the dirt road, yeah.
Yeah.
On top of, yes.
So we're kind of running the edge of both plants, so he's over here.
Yeah.
oh, that's the trailer?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know it had,
I didn't know either, honestly, I'll tell you, John had to tell me.
From way back when.
I had no idea.
But if you can pick up the swale from the other side of my driveway to the next driveway, there's, 150 feet of frontage there.
So you're saying potentially help by creating a swale here,
Yep.
right?
Makes sense.
And then on the other side of your driveway,
Fill that one in for the drain. For the drain.
fill it in with a pipe instead of an open swale. That's what you're asking?
Yeah. And just kind of move it over a little bit off the edge of my driveway on the left side, if you're facing the house on the right side, because it's like right on the edge of the driveway.
It's a couple feet deep over there too.
I get people coming over there that don't know my driveway, and they're in the ditch.
Oh, no.
Dave, engineering-wise, adding a
can't see
pipe
it.
over a swale with a pipe, you don't get infiltration.
I'd be careful when I.
Well, you could put in a perforated pipe
Yeah.
of stone, but to me, you still need something of a swale for conveyance.
Sure.
Because you're gonna get the runoff from the road, it's still gonna go off the road. So where's the runoff from the road? You need to.
Yeah, you're only, you're not that far from that catch basin. For that little section of area I'm talking about, from my driveway to the catch basin is like 100 feet, maybe, if that. You got the dirt road coming out onto it too.
But now you'd end up directing all that 100 feet of roadway to that one catch basin.
No worse than it is now.
Well, when we regrade
It's a
the
river
road,
with
you're
a
gonna have
tire
the
rut.
swale there though, so.
It still gets, you'd be surprised how much water gets splashed into those from just the tire ruts, because it comes down the tire ruts in the road. It's a river on some of the rainy days.
Right, I guess what I'm saying though, you're gonna have a pitched crown once this road's crowned.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a cross slope on that crown, you're not gonna have ruts in that road anymore when it's paved.
No, but underneath it, fill it in with crushed stone. Let it go through the grass. You don't need to have a pipe in there.
And we can take a look, I still think you need some sort of swale, I mean, we can soften the swale, because right now.
Do you like a swamp in your front yard? That's what I have.
Well, that's why we've
I
got.
get bees in there, I fall in there when I'm trying to cut it. It's nasty.
I understand.
No, I understand, we were out there.
I'd be better off with a wall there and a railing than I would be what I have now.
Definitely going to take another look at that area for you.
Yeah, we'll definitely take another look at it.
For sure. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Is there any other properties anyone hasn't asked about yet? Anyone else have any other questions?
Well,
Well-
when you clear everything out and you have all the water running, should each individual property do something to help that water go? Because on our property in 204, we have two big, like we have a big pond almost, and then we have the trees in front of that, they get swamped. Like they're gonna fall over. But there's on the other, right in the middle, like right in the end, there is a little bit of a ditch. Should we do something with that, or can someone look and tell us exactly what to do to help that water go away?
I have kind of a boilerplate answer for you, I apologize, but you'd be looking at possibly hiring someone like Dave on a private level, because all we're doing is the right-of-way work, but if you need some sort of stormwater remediation on your own property, or maybe it's a wetland by then, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, someone, an engineer.
No, it's
or
not a
something.
wetland, it's street drainage.
Okay.
Which is creating a wetland. I do have one question.
Sure.
Is this coming out of the Douglas taxpayers' dollars?
I don't think that's how that works. Is it Chapter 90?
It's both.
So it'd be a combination of both. So if we, do we need an allocation at town meeting?
We already did.
Okay, so that's already done.
As of July 1st, we can spend the money.
Okay.
And some is out of the state aid as well.
50/50, any idea?
For the state aid, we get about $360 a year.
Okay.
And then the town matched it this year with $360 as well.
Okay, all right. Capital?
Yeah, capital. And then we had some leftover state aid money from the last few previous years. That's the money.
We have to save it up over a couple of years in order to do a project of this size. That's just how it works. They don't give us very much money, and the town's been, just the last couple of years, pitching in, giving us, trying to match what we get. So that's the only way, something $1 million. We had some of last year's, this year's, plus the town's 360 in order to make the project like this.
But this is money that's already appropriated, for the most
Yes.
part. It already went through town meeting, so it's not like an increase coming
No,
out.
nothing like that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Any other properties you want us to look at? Questions? Happy to check it out for you. I really appreciate you guys being here. I know it's just informative. We're just trying to collect information. If you think of things afterwards, I left a couple of cards up there. If you have questions, you can send me an email. Or if you want to see the plans yourself, do some homework, we'll send them to your emails that are on the sign-in sheet. Yes.
And when you said culverts across your driveway, you mean within that, like 5 feet to the road,
In the right of way, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then as John pointed out, they'll do the aprons last after everything else. And the aprons are kind of rounded so that they don't just send water down. They have
Correct.
like kind of a berm to them. Right.
So what are we able to do on our own property as far as diverting that rainwater?
I don't want to play engineer, unfortunately, but I'd always.
Is there any rules about in town that say?
The general
you can't
rule
do
is
this,
you're not supposed
can't
to
do this?
direct stormwater onto
Into
a
the
neighbor's
drainage,
property,
right.
right? Or into town property for that matter, or into a catch basin.
So
yourself.
we're going to put
So
something to leach it out, and like a big dry well?
I'd always recommend talking to a stormwater
Yeah.
management specialist, always. So you don't want to accidentally create a situation where you're flooding somebody else out.
Those stone walls, can they be taken out?
I don't think South Street's a scenic road.
No.
I think so, so.
Not like.
Because I think we only have 4 in town, and that's not one of them, so.
Right.
Any other questions? Anybody? If you think of them, great. Yes?
Is there, now, what happens next, the final plan, will we know if anything changes between what you're telling us today and what
Yeah, that's what we
actually
asked for your
gonna happen?
information. We want to keep you informed. So as we look at some of these areas, your property especially, and some of the others, the comments that came out today, if we come up with any changes, we're going to want to reach out to you guys directly, so we'll make sure we can. My handwriting's terrible, so hopefully we can read your handwriting in the emails, and if I have to, I'll come to the houses that are on the addresses and come talk to you folks. So we want to keep everyone informed. We really appreciate this. The whole point was getting your feedback in advance so we don't just go through something and not know about some of the issues you guys are struggling with. So that's certainly important to hear from you. So
It's just hard because we don't know if this is going to correct anything, really, or make it worse.
It could make it worse. I'm not convinced that it won't, to be honest.
well, the way it is right now is no good. So it's a failed road without a crown whatsoever, and it's not controlling stormwater and the way it's supposed to.
Sure.
And I know for the past several years, some of you may not be seeing any water come out of your culverts at all, or anything. Some of you may not see that, so
That would be a good day.
fortunate for a little while. But the way it's supposed to function is according to the design that Dave is putting in front of us, so that's the way stormwater is supposed to work on the road. So,
I mean, I believe you will see an improvement once this project is completed on what the current drainage situation is out there.
I agree. So, we thank you very much. So I didn't know how many people were going to come, so we're thankful that you guys came out to give us some insight on this. So if you think of anything else, let us know, but thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it.